Lovely viewers, today I come here with one quote. To err is human and to forgive is divine. No matter what the problem is, let us try and initiate a heart and initiate a peaceful agenda towards all situations. Today I come with you to analyze what I call the triangle of the Ghanaian incompetence. I wouldn't say every Ghanaian though, but some of us are incompetent. And what do I call the triangle? A doctor who is in housemanship, Amenhia, the father who is the Ashanti Regional National Service Scheme boss, and a nurse. I've tried all my best with my team to find out the name of the doctor, but to no avail. But I want to explain something to you. When we say a doctor is in housemanship, what are we trying to say? That means that doctor is an intern. When we go into the tertiary cycle, we go for internships. Nurses go for clinicals, and doctors go for housemanship. So housemanship is a period of training in which an approved hospital by a practitioner has completed basic medical or dental training in a recognized institution or university. That's why we call housemanship. So this doctor we are talking of is in housemanship, meaning she is an intern, meaning experience-wise is very on the low, or experience-wise is on the low. But for intelligence, I wouldn't be able to say much about it. But for experience, I can clearly tell you she's on the low. Then a triangle has three sides. The second side of the triangle is a nurse. And I say it mysteriously because I'm not able to find the name of the nurse. And pictures that also trended on social media, there's a claim that that picture is not the nurse in the leaked audio. So viewers, forgive me, but due diligently, I've tried my best to come out with these names, but to no avail. But let me continue because you're going to love the analysis. The nurse who works at Amenhia Hospital as well. There was a confrontation between the two. Let me leave the third side of the triangle. I'll come back to it. There was a confrontation between the nurse and the doctor. So something happened. For the confrontation to happen, there should be a remote cause, as we all know. The nurse felt the doctor had made a mistake. So she called the doctor to alert her on the said mistake. There have been trending issues and stories about being a wrong prescription. I didn't come from that angle though, but there was something that the nurse thought needed urgent attention. So the nurse gave a call to the doctor. And upon the audio we heard and upon the investigations being done, the doctor arrived at the hospital with the dad. That is the clear side of the triangle. And the dad is nobody and no other than Alex Opoku Mensah, popularly called Omens, who was once an integrated science tutor at KNUST. And a lot of confrontations and stuff went there that we need questions, and those questions also need answers. So I'll try and answer them for us, then we analyze from there. There was actually a problem, so the nurse called the doctor. The doctor felt, from the audio, the doctor felt intimidated. The doctor felt scared. So the doctor ran to daddy. Daddy, I'm intimidated at work and all that. So daddy also being, as all parents would do, yes, we are lions. We always protect our cap. And from the audio, the dad felt her daughter was always intimidated at work. And I'm going to prove that to you. Because when the dad was speaking to the nurse, there was a time the nurse felt like, oh, Dad, there is no issue between me and your daughter, but what happened could have caused damages to a patient. Then the doctor asked the nurse, what did I do wrong? The response the nurse gave proved a point that indeed there is an issue between them at work. Insults were thrown at the nurse, and the nurse said something. That is why I'm not excluding her from the triangle. The nurse said, if not for the age of the dad would have smelled pepper. Let me put it in the African way. That means the nurse was actually going to deal with the dad, however the case was. But we being Africans, we respect a lot. So we are taught to always respect our elders, and also our elders are always in the right. So based on that, she kept quiet. So meaning, if it were to be you and I, age mates, peer groups, that day, I think your handkerchiefs wouldn't have even helped you, because your tears from Menchia to wherever you live, only God knows. And let me ask myself this question. I work in an institution like Strongnet Multimedia, which has SNTV and SN Radio inclusive. And if there's a problem between me and my superior, do I have to go and tell my dad to come and fight for me at work? Is it right? Ethically, is it right? That is something I cannot keep my head around. But let's put those questions aside. We are going to come to it. Mr. Omens, as you are popularly called, you've been in rank of the NPP for a very long time. You've been a communicator for them, and you've gone through the party structures. So you know it perfectly that you are not the Ashanti Regional NSS Director on merit. I'm trying to tell you that. You are not there on merit. You are there because you have the party card. As I've been saying on Omaimu Nsem, that when you are in Ghana, your party card is needed more than your Ghanaian identification card, than your voter's ID card, than any other card. Because you've been working for a very long time. You've been working for a very long time. So what happened? Just look back. Remember the worst. You see, you love your daughter. That is very nice. The bond between you and your daughter. That is very nice. But remember the worst you thrown to another's daughter. So I'm asking myself, if the nurse's dad had thrown those insults on your daughter, what would be the repercussions be? What would the repercussions from you be? That is what I want to ask you, Mr. Omens. There are times you have to cool down, no matter who we know. Because you may be able to go to the president anytime, any day. You know people in higher places. You've been there, you've seen it all. But see, you told us your daughter was very intelligent and all that in the audio. But you see, there is a saying that if a fool keeps quiet at the meeting grounds, everybody is going to think that fool is very wise. Your brilliant and intelligent daughter didn't identify that you were being recorded. You were boasting. She's very intelligent. I wouldn't downplay on that. Because to be a doctor, it's not an easy thing. I've not been there, but I've heard. Because when you are working on the human body, it's not a trial and error thing. No, you cannot use that methodology. Because you are either going to deform the person or you are going to kill the person. But you see, that iota of smartness on the part of the nurse, you and your daughter didn't find out. So you see, it's not always about boasting and saying stuff. It's about being meek about situations and all that. Because you shouldn't let the love for your daughter blind you to do certain things you are not supposed to do. These are basic things. But let me tell you this, viewers. After the confrontation and the leaked audio, the nurses made it a point and agreed that no matter what is going on, united they stand, divided they fall. So they made it a point that no matter what has happened, they are going to stay behind the nurse. The Junior Doctor Association also did the same thing, and the Ghana Medical Association also said the same thing. But what about the National Service Scheme? What about your bosses? You've been suspended. Your letter is out and everybody is reading it. Because you did your worst. You did your worst. And where did your worst end you? Now you suspended. But what I'm happy about is, I see you to be a man of pride, a man of ego. You gave an unqualified apology. You posted it on your social media handle. We all read it. We found it and all that. And viewers, you see it. This is the unqualified apology. Right after the apology, you posted on your WhatsApp status with a picture of you and your daughter, stating that even if you die, you are going to support her. Nobody is telling you not to support your daughter. Mr. Omens, you are supposed to support your daughter, but remember, in the right way. Not in the wrong way. In the right way. Because there are laws in the country. There are laws. Because if you all say we are going to defend our daughters and sons, our siblings, our family members, no matter what, this country is going to turn into a jungle where there are no laws. But this is Ghana. We're in the 21st century. We live in a democratic era now. So, Mr. Omens, and to whoever who gets this video, no matter what happens, calm down. Let's try solve situations and matters amicably. You should point your doctor to the right scratches. Because when you were insulting the nurse, you told her something. That the nurse was supposed to go to the superior of the doctor. You could have told your daughter the same thing when she called you. But you refused. You refused. You went there, threw your weight about, insult the nurse and insult every single nurse over there. That is what you did. Truth be told. Now, people are suffering because of you. Why am I saying that? The nurses decided to go on a strike. They went on a strike. And people came there to seek for what? Relief from their sickness, from their maladies. And where were the nurses? They were on strike. Because of what you did. Because of what you did. There are times and days that we are supposed to watch our actions very carefully. And let me tell you this. The Ghana Medical Association says we should stop circulating the picture of the doctor. Fine. Which is very traumatizing in their perspective. Cool. And the Junior Doctors Association are also saying the doctor never prescribed a wrong medication for the nurse. But all what happened was there was a mistake in the receipt of the patient, and the nurse wanted that bill taken off the receipt of the patient. That is why all these things happened. What can I say? That is what has been communicated to me. But the facts are there for us to see. Does this doctor fit to be a doctor? Is it right for her to be a doctor? I feel her license, if indeed she has one, should be revoked. Yes. There is no room for error. Because if you are a doctor going to work on a human being, since Mr. Omens didn't realize that the media was more powerful than the MPP hierarchy is going through, the NSS was held at ransom. So this is the statement they released. NSS suspends Ashanti Regional Director. The management of the National Service Scheme has suspended the Ashanti Regional Director, Mr. Alex Opoku-Mensah, with immediate effect. The announcement of the suspension was made yesterday at an emergency meeting the management of the scheme held with Mr. Opoku-Mensah, Alex. The management decision is to allow further investigation into the alleged verbal assault on a nurse on duty at the Menchia Government Hospital in Kumasi. Meanwhile, a committee comprising representatives from the National Service Scheme, the Public Service Commission, and the Ministry of Education has been set up to investigate the matter and to submit its report to the NSS management within 1 month. Mr. Opoku-Mensah is though expected to appear before the committee on Monday, December 5th, 2022. Signed, Ambrose Ensiwa Jr., Director, Corporate Affairs for Management. So, viewers, I'm trying to let you know something. If Mr. Omens was indeed an austere man, a man who has seen wrongdoing in the habit he portrayed on that very day at Menchia, he would have resigned. But did he? No. I'm trying to tell you something. If you are in the Western world and you forget yourself and you do something like this, indeed, if you are remorseful for what you did, as Mr. Omens was telling the nurse in the audio, he should have resigned. But did he? No. So he waited to meet the committee. He's waiting to meet the committee on Monday, right? Let's see what the nurses did. The Nurses and Midwives Association, what did they do? 1st December 2022, in view of the fact that the 72-hour deadline given in our press release, issued on 29th November 2022, expires today. 1st December 2022 will require all leaders of our regional branches and all nurses and midwives to take the following note. Listen carefully, Mr. Omens. Friday, 2nd December 2022, Menchia strikes. If patients are to be on Menchia on the said day, can only the doctors execute their responsibilities and work on them? I'm asking you this question. 2. Tuesday, 6 December 2022, Ashanti region strikes if the regional director is still not fired. Are you waiting for the 6th of December to come? For the whole Ashanti region to lose their nurses just because of you, Mr. Omens? Why? 3. Friday, 9 December, nationwide strike. Mr. Omens, don't let us get there. Ghanaians, it is time we learn that if we are given a position on the basis of what we said, on the basis of our abilities, and we get into office and we are not able to deliver, it is time we are supposed to think twice and quit and stay out and say, no, I came in to do this, but I wasn't able. So this is the time for me to stay back. Stay put for somebody to also come and try. Are you waiting, Mr. Omens, for these 3 strikes to be imposed just because of your actions? We expect National Service Scheme and government for the matter to sack Mr. Alex Opoku-Mensah, and we hope they do that without any further delay to avert disruptions in the nursing and midwifery services across the country. Omens must be fired. Unity is strength. They've come together for a purpose. This is what I call a conclave. This is what I call a conclave. Some of them didn't come there because of what? They are not there because of their party card. And for nursing, even if for your party card will take you there, but you are still supposed to learn. Mr. Omens, don't let the love of your daughter blind you. Please. Always remember that your love for your daughter shouldn't blind you, but should actually help you to direct her. Because I ask myself and I say, oh, if your daughter calls you in a situation like that, you are supposed to even ask for the nurse's number, invite her home on a Sunday to have a lunch with you. Then you ask her what the actual problem is. Then you try to solve it amicably. Because when we were growing up, that is what we found ourselves to be. If somebody was bullying you and you come home and report, your mom or your guardian actually calls the person and actually renders you into the hands of the person to take care of you. But since our brains took us there, not our brains, this is what we sometimes get. Let's look at this. This is coming from who? The apology from Mr. Omens, right? Mr. Omens apologized. He didn't wait for these tribes to hate us. So he apologized. He said, I understand the disappointment and appreciate the inconvenience my actions has caused the general public, as well as the nursing fraternity in the Dementia Hospital. This has never been my style, but for a genuine reason to mediate in a persistent issue between my daughter, who is a doctor, and a colleague nurse, who I as well consider as my daughter. Oh, initially, this is what you were supposed to do, Mr. Omens. I do apologize for my mishap and assure all there will not be a repetition of such. I look forward to maintain a cordial relationship with any affected person. That is what Mr. Omens said. That is what he said. But we should not forget, instead of us to portray actions and later on find ourselves in a situation where we are supposed to apologize, I think we should always come from the weaker side or weaker point of view. Because when you go from the stronger side, there are many times you might be right, but end up being on the side of Mr. Omens. Don't be an Omens. Okay. The GMA, Ghana Medical Association, the president said on Accra-based radio station, City FM, Dr. Frank Akobia, I'm not happy with the way the doctor is being subjected to such an emotional trauma. This is a young doctor who started work barely 2 weeks ago. So, doc, you started work just 2 weeks. You are in housemanship. A nurse would be able to teach you. Trust me. Because we were told you don't learn. We never finish learning. There is always room for improvement. There is always room for improvement. So no matter how the nurse was speaking to you and all that, ethically, what you did was wrong though. She's young. She's now actually starting her career, and I think we should support her. If we are only looking at what the father has done, we will throw away the baby with the bathwater. That is a very nice quote though, Dr. Akobia. That is very nice. You can never throw away the water with the baby. No, you can't. So it's important that all of us be measured in the kind of comments we pass and how we comment on these issues. And remember that somebody's career is at stake. Dr. Akobia, your words are very kind and diplomatic. But I'll tell you this. The doctor is not fit to be there. Trust me. Because I know your father is Alex Opoku Mensah. So the doctor will definitely have Opoku Mensah as the surname. Dr. Opoku Mensah is not fit to be there. Trust me, Mr. Frank. Because how do you call your father to your place of work to solve a problem for you? What have you been hearing at home? Politics? That your father knows everybody? That is not always the case. Your father was calling you smart. Your father was throwing his weight about. But you see those nurses your father does not respect. Those general arts students your father does not have respect for. Was able to record you. And you being the science student and the doctor, wasn't able to tell your dad that you are being recorded, so please watch your mouth. You see? Such is life. In a press statement signed by the Association of Junior Doctors, headed by Dr. Louisa A. Nkrumah, was aimed to just set certain records straight for us. So viewers, kindly follow. In addition, no prescription was written for a child by the doctor on the said date, and therefore she could not have prescribed a wrong dosage. It is, however, said the doctor correctly prescribed an intravenous fluid for an adult patient in the surgical ward. The non-availability of the intravenous fluid prescribed prompted the nurse to call the doctor to delete it from the system to avoid extra billing. Right here, I can see there's an iota of lie in there. Because from the audio, when it's being played for you, viewers, listen carefully. The dad would ask the nurse why his daughter was confronted. And the nurse made a statement like, meaning something wrong was about to happen. That is why there was a confrontation. But this is what the junior doctors are saying. From the source, yes. The information on social media, radio and TV stations about an alleged wrong prescription is untrue. According to the hospital management and records available, the group stressed it is therefore entreat all media houses to pull down their broadcast concerning the alleged wrong prescription of medication, and also the public to be respect. I do not really care about these things because these things are not in my analysis. What I'm trying to analyze is when something happens to you or you think you are being treated wrongly at work, are you supposed to call your parents to the workplace? For what reason? Doc, ethically it is wrong. Socially it is wrong. What can you prove? Are you going to use the proof of mathematical induction? Or which type of proof are you going to use? To prove to Ghanaians, I inclusive, that what you did was right, to call your father to your workplace, to fight your battles. I think it's not the right thing. You fled your dad to a ditch, and I think your license should be revoked. If indeed you have one, your license should be revoked because you are the cause of all this. However, the nurse talked to you, you should have gone to the hospital's administrator or the management and make a case for yourself. There are senior doctors there, there are administrators there, there are managers there. You could have told any of them, there are senior nurses there as well, that this is what the nurse is putting you through. Or that nurse, your dad claimed, was intimidating you. You could have made a report to any of them, but you chose to make the report to your dad. And your dad being an MPP member, knowing, oh, I've been through the ranks, I've worked for the party and all that, and I've paid my dues, and I'm the Ashanti Regional NSS boss, and all that. Where has it landed you? In the triangle of Ghanaian incompetence. My brother, my sister, my mother, my father, my granddad, my grandma, my auntie, anybody watching me, let me tell you this. We can all fall into this trap. This is what I call the triangle. Don't fall into this triangle. There are parents who go to schools to insult teachers. There are parents who fight at PTA meetings and frown upon certain training be given to their wards. But I tell you, that is not the best. There are parents that stand behind their children, go to places where they play, go to their friends, insult, and do all sorts of things to them. For what? You are creating an enmity for yourself and for your ward. It's high time you desist from such actions. It's high time you stop this doing. It's not the best. Mr. Omes was talking about he teaching Attica. Attica, your name was mentioned in the audio. there was a so-called Kelvin and a Zainab. Their names were mentioned there. But it's our time you people came out to tell the truth. Or you people should up the various commissions. Since Mr. Omens has not come out to say I'm resigning. Because there are rumors he's been dismissed. Are you waiting to be dismissed? No. You just have to resign. Because what you did was wrong. And I'm not in particular about you. I'm about your daughter. Your daughter, the license of the doctor, Owusu Mensah, must be revoked. That is the truth. It must be revoked. Otherwise, she must prove beyond reasonable doubt that her actions wouldn't be repeated again. Amora, the host of Omaimu Nsem, see you for more analysis on various current affairs and trending issues in Ghana and our political dispensation. Thank you.